match number 7. I haven't got the fingers anymore. Would see Billy back out as referee as Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson would take on Big Rig. Now Isaiah Jackson would come out mouthy, cocky, just just full of himself. Nothing wrong with that. Big Rig, just huge, 500 pounds. I mean, the man was just, well, it's called Big Rig for a reason. His name matched his size. You know, the fact that he turned up to the venue in a Big Rig itself just speaks volumes. Absolutely huge. That's all I've got at the start. It's like Big Rig is huge. I couldn't have written it any bigger. Anyway, Jackson would be cheeky when he started. Hit a slap on Big Rig. Oh, why you want to slap that big man? I do not know. Big Rig would respond and start to overpower, but Jackson was very quick in his attacks. This man, honestly, absolute firecracker around the ring. Just absolutely could move around that ring flawlessly, effortlessly. He was just here, there, and everywhere. Just had to keep an eye on him, otherwise you miss it. He'd head up top, but Big Rig would catch him, then perform an airplane spin, which I love seeing because you'd leave both men dizzy, but it's always thoroughly entertaining to see. Both directions as well. Both directions, but still dizzy. He'd go for a corner splash, but Jackson would utilise his pace to move out the way, and then he'd head outside as a distraction before sneaking back in and locking in a headlock. But at this point, Big Rig would perform a huge shoulder takedown and then stomp on his opponent, and then some huge big chest slaps. I mean, this man's hands coming down on, Jackson must have felt that. That must have just made every inch of his body quake. You would see a huge scoop slam by Big Rig, and then a running splash to pick up the win. Now, this wasn't so much of a squash match because, Jackson was there, not more was in this one. It was just unlucky. He was taking on such a huge opponent. As I say, the guy moved around the ring with ease. He's so fast paced, so cocky, so full of himself, and I think, against a different opponent, I think that this guy will be victorious. He does look like he's got some talent about him. I think he will back up the mouth that he's got behind him, and I can't wait to see him more in action. Now, Big Rig, it's gonna take some doing to bring this man down. I mean, you've got to find the right opponent for him, or the right foe for him for that to happen. Because this man is just so imposing in that ring. Just honestly, the size of him just leaves you in absolute awe. I can't wait to see both of these guys in action again. I mean, he wasn't just, he utilised the power though. He utilised his size, his power to his advantage, fully to his advantage, and that's what you have to do when you're a big man. Anyway, as I say, both these guys, they put on a great match. This was not the longest of the matches, but it was a great match nonetheless. Good match to have at the tail end of the card, and the fans absolutely loved it. They both had their fans in attendance, and just go and check them both out for yourselves. But just go and see them live. Neither of them will leave you disappointed.